Hello, class. I hope that you are all safe and healthy. I'm sorry that we were not able to have our G meet this week because I have something important to do. I am not at home. Share ko lang, my father-in-law had COVID-19 and he is now hospitalized. So we're here in the province to help him with his needs. So now, since we were not able to have our G-Meet, I have recorded a video lesson so that I will be able to still teach you the lesson for this week. So let's start. So for this week, our lesson is all about conditionals. So, what is conditionals? So, conditionals are types of sentences that show this or that tells us what actually happens, what could possibly happen, what we wish would happen, and what might have happened. So later on, I will teach you each of these, each types of conditionals, okay, so that you will be able to understand each one. So if these are the examples of these conditionals. So conditionals are statements from the word condition. From the word conditionals, it means condition. So look, if I get sick, I go to the doctor. If I get sick, I will go to the doctor. If I got sick, I would go to the doctor. If I had been sick, I would have gone to the doctor. So if you would notice, each of this sentence starts with one particular word, and that is the word if. Okay? So that word if is very important when it comes to conditionals. So all of these words are really tiny grammatical words, but they have an important function. They're connecting two ideas together. So, because there are two ideas in each sentence, so the sentence is composed of two parts. Okay? So, in all conditional sentence, we have an if clause and a result clause. Okay? So, that the word if, that's the one that joins the two ideas together. So, we have two clauses, again, the if clause and the result clause. So, look at this one. So, if you notice, the red is the if clause, the result clause is the blue one. So, if I got sick, that is the if clause because it starts with the word if. And then the result clause is if I would go to the doctor. Okay. It is called conditional because the result will depend on the if clause. So, if the if clause happens, then or if the if clause is possible, then the result clause or what is mentioned in the result clause is possible or it will happen. So the result clause is dependent on the if clause. Okay? So the result can only happen if the if clause occurs. And that is why it's called a conditional sentence. Another example. If you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. So, hindi kayo makakakuha ng orange juice kung hindi mangyayari yung pag-squeeze ng orange. Therefore, nakadepende yung pagkakaroon nyo ng orange juice dun sa isang mangyayari which is the if clause, yung pag-i-squeeze ng orange. You get that? So, that's why it's called conditional. Now, these sentences, they're all quite similar, but there are also some really clear differences as well. So, may mukha silang pare-pareho. Okay, syempre pare-pareho kasi yung ginamit nating example or ginamit nating sitwasyon. Pero may pagkakaiba-iba sila. Okay? And where does the difference go? Nasaan yung difference? Nasa verb na ginagamit. And of course, nasa gamit. Nasa purpose mismo. Right? So, later on, isa-isahin natin siya. So, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 types of conditionals. In your module, only 3 conditionals are presented. But we have to present also the other type which is missing. So that the information that you would get or the lesson that you would get would be complete. So we have zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. That's why we have 0, 1, 2, and 3 there. So, ano yung zero conditional? If I get sick, I go to the doctor. First conditional, if I get sick, I will go to the doctor. So, meron na kaagad pagkakaiba, no? Number 2, second conditional, if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. I hope you are seeing the differences in the red and blue words. Another one, if I had been sick, I would have gone to the doctor. So, meron pa rin difference. Okay. So, let's move on to the first type of conditional, the zero conditional. Why is it called zero conditional? Because it is a factual conditional. Okay? Meaning to say, it only states facts. It is not contestable. Hindi mo siya mako-contest or hindi ka maaari makipagtalo kasi yung sinasabi niya ay totoo. Truth, fact, habit. Okay? This is the example, no? Kanina pa to na example natin. If I get sick, I go to the doctor. So, kung ako ay may sakit, pumupunta ako sa doktor. That is a fact. Hindi siya dapat pagtaluhan. Kasi, yun ang totoo. Okay? So, in the if clause we use the present simple tense of the verb. Here, we use the get. Okay, so when you say present simple tense, yun yung base form tsaka S form. Okay, we're using the base form here, get, kasi tawag dito, yung subject natin ay I. Okay, even though it's pronoun I, it's considered as a plural. So it uses the main verb or the base form of the verb. So present simple. And then, dun sa ating result clause, I go to the doctor, we also use the present simple tense of the verb, which is go. Okay? Kapag hindi ay yung ginamit natin dyan, if she, for example, she gets, ang gagamitin natin, S form of the verb. Okay? If she gets sick, she goes to the doctor. Ganun lang yon. Okay? So, it's factual. That is why it's zero conditional. Wala talagang condition. Nagsasabi lang ng fact. Okay? So, remember, here, both clauses are in the simple present tense. So, both verbs in the clauses are in the simple present tense. So, when you say simple present tense, base form, it could be in the base form, like eat, sleep, pray. It could be in the S form, eats, sleeps, prays. It depends on the subject. If the subject is singular, use the S form of the verb. If the subject is plural, use the base form of the verb. So, ano lang yun? Review na lang yun because I know you already know about that. Grade 7 pa lang kayo. Okay? So, when do we use zero conditional? We use it for stating facts, truths, and habit. Okay? You can argue about these things, right? With these things, we're not talking about possibilities because it's a fact. Okay? So, ayan, another example. If you put ice in your drink, it melts. Di ba fact yun? Okay? So, kapag naglagay kayo ng yelo sa iniinom nyo, matutunaw yung yelo. Natutunaw yung yelo. Di ba? It's a fact. Okay? That's why it's zero conditional. Other example. If I don't breathe, I die. So, look at the verbs that I colored pink. So, in the if clause, here, in the if clause, the verb is breathe. Okay, so it's in the main form or base form. And then, in the result clause, the verb is die. It's also in the base form. Okay, if my crush looks at me, I blush. Okay? So, that is a habit. Okay? Yung una, if I don't breathe, I die. That's a fact. Yung pangalawa, if my crush looks at me, I blush. It's a habit of me. Diba? So, looks, blush. Parehong nasa simple present tense. If you get sick, you are unhealthy. So, dito ma'am, bakit gumamit po ako ng are? Kasi, am is are, pwede siyang gamitin in simple present tense also. Okay? So, if you get sick, get, simple present tense base form, you are unhealthy. So, kapag nagkasakit ka, hindi ka healthy. It's a fact. Alright? So, those are the examples of zero conditionals. I hope it's clear to you. Now, let's move on. So, again, zero conditional, paano siya isusulat, paano siya i-compose. In the if clause, you use the present simple tense of the verb. In the result clause, you also use the present simple tense of the verb. Okay? What do you notice in between the if clause and the result clause? Mayroong ginagamit na, anong ginagamit? Comma. Okay? So, to separate the if clause and the result clause. Ma'am, pwede ba natin pagbalik na rin yung pwesto ng result clause and the if clause? Oo naman, pwedeng pagbalik na rin. For example, I die if I don't breathe. I blush if my crush looks at me. You are unhealthy if you get sick. Pwede yon. When you do that, you have to remove the comma. Okay, kailangan tanggalin na yung comma. If the result clause comes before the if clause. So, kayo nga, try nyo nga to. If I eat blank, okay, anong pwede nyo kainin? And then, what will happen? What happens? So, what's a fact to you? Meron ba kayong mga, tawag dito, allergies? For example, if I eat eggs, I get itchy. Diba? So, ano lang naman to, practice lang for you. Okay? So, let's move on to the second type of conditional, which is the first conditional. Okay? A while ago, we have the zero conditional. Now, we go to the first conditional. So, here, in the if clause, still, we use the present simple tense of the verb. Okay, katulad kanina. But in the result clause, meron na tayong idadagdag, which is the modals. Kung naalala nyo pa yung modals, ngayon natin last week, we have the will, can, or may. You can use any of those. And then we have the verb infinitive, or the base form of the verb. Diba? We have learned last time that when you use a modal, you have to use, after that, the base form of an action verb. Okay? So, again, in the result clause, will, can, or may plus the verb infinitive or the base form of the verb. Example, if I get sick, I will go to the doctor. So ngayon, anong pinagkaiba nito dun sa zero conditional? Anong pinagkaiba ng first conditional sa zero conditional? Sa zero conditional, it's a fact. You are stating a fact. Totoo yun. Ginagawa mo talaga yon. It's your habit. But here, in the first conditional, ito yung talagang may condition na talaga. Now, sabi dito, kung ako ay magkasakit in the future, ano ang gagawin ko in the future? So, pupunta ako sa doktor or magpapadoktor ako. Okay? If I get sick, I will go to the doctor. So, you are using the first conditional when you are stating possible future outcome. So, mangyayari pa lang siya sa future at ano ang maaaring mangyari dahil doon. So, possible future outcome. Pareho siyang posibleng mangyari. Okay? Gets? That's why we are using will. Okay? Yun po yun. So, again, remember the structure. If clause, present simple, tense of the verb. And then, in the result clause, will, can, or may plus base form of the verb. Possible future outcome. Okay, look. Another example. If it's hot tomorrow, so bukas pa siya, no? Kung bukas ay mainit, I'll go for a swim at the beach. So, magsiswimming ako sa beach. Diba? Kung mainit bukas. So, hindi pa siya nangyayari, in the future pa lang siya, no? Mangyayari pa lang, at kung sakali mangyayari yon in the future, ano yung gagawin mo? Ano yung magiging result nun? Okay? Kung sakali mainit bukas, magbe-beach ako bukas. maliligo ako sa beach or magsuswimming ako sa beach. Gets? So I hope you're getting the first conditional very clearly. Another one. If you join the Linggoda language sprint, you will get lots of English speaking practice. So nakikita nyo naman yung verb ay naka-bold. So join, will get. Okay? So sinusunod niya yung rule na if plus present simple tense of the verb and then will dun sa result clause will, can, may plus verb infinitive or base form of the verb will get. Right? So ito, kung magjo-join ka daw dun sa program na yon, sa language program na yon, magkakaroon ka daw ng maraming practice sa pagsasalita ng English. Kung magjo-join ka. So, hindi ka pa nagjo-join. Okay? In the future pa lang ito. Possible future outcome. Alright? Other examples. If I join your group, I can become better in math. So, ano pa lang to, no? Hindi ka pa nagjo-join. Magjo-join ka pa lang. Kung ikaw ay sasali, okay? Kung ako ay sasali sa grupo nyo, maaari akong maging magaling sa math. Okay? If I get high grades this quarter, my mother may allow me to join the concert. Kung makakakuha ko ng mataas na grades niya yung quarter na ito, so hindi pa tapos yung quarter, so in the future siya, no? Maaari akong payagan ng nanay ko na makapunta sa concert. Okay, possible future outcome. If I get to see Blackpink live in Manila, I will be very happy. Kung mapapanood ko ang Blackpink, so hindi pa nangyayari, in the future pa lang, kung sakaling pumunta sila sa Manila, ako ay magiging napakasaya. Okay? I hope you're getting the idea of the first conditional. So, first conditional, again, let's review the structure. In the if clause, you use the present simple tense of the verb or the S form and base form. And then in the result clause, you use will, can, and may plus the verb infinitive or the base form of the verb. Now, can you complete the sentence? If we leave now, okay, what may happen? We will what? Okay. So think about it. Okay. Now let's move forward to second conditional. So this is the third type. Okay, second conditional. Zero conditional, first conditional, then second conditional. Okay, second conditional, in the if clause, you use the simple past tense. So, hindi na tayo gagamit ng present tense, simple present tense, but the simple past tense. And in the result clause, instead of using will, we use would. Instead of using can, we use could. We also can use might. Okay, plus the base form of the verb. Okay, example, if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. Okay? So, ibang-iba yung second conditional dun sa first conditional. Dahil sa first clause pa lang, sa if clause pa lang, iba na yung verb na ginamit. Okay? A while ago, in the first conditional, we use the simple present tense, which is the base form. Ito naman, ano ba yung past tense ng get? Got, diba? So, you use the simple past tense of the verb. Okay? I hope you will take time to review your simple past tense. Okay? Example, what is the simple past tense of eat? Ate. What is the simple past tense of run? R-U-N. Run. Okay? Maybe I can give you exercises about this. But actually, in the module, may mga exercises na rin tungkol dito. Dun sa may remember. After ng pre-test, meron doon mga exercises about basic tenses, verb tenses. Okay? So, when do we use the second conditional? We use the second conditional to imagine that the present situation is different. Nag-i-imagine tayo na yung nangyayari ngayon ay iba sa nangyayari ngayon. So, the if clause here is hypothetical. So, the if clause is not happening. It's unreal. Pero, may posibilidad na mangyari, pero unreal. Hindi siya nangyayari ngayon. Okay? So, example nga, this is the example, no? If I got sick, I would go to the doctor. Kung nagkasakit ako, pupunta ako sa doktor. Ganun yung translation niya sa Tagalog. So, ibig sabihin, sa ngayon, wala kang sakit. Okay? Pero, iniisip mo kung sakali man na nagkasakit ka, ano yung maaaring mangyari o ano yung maaari mong gawin? Ano yung ginawa mo? Okay? Kung nagkasakit ka, nagpunta ako ng doktor. Kung nagkasakit ako, nagpunta ako ng doktor. Okay? So, it's hypothetical. Kung sakali na ganun yung pangyayari, pero hindi talaga yun yung pangyayari ngayon. I hope you're getting the point. It's hypothetical, it's unreal, but there is a possibility to happen. Okay. So, if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. This is a hypothetical situation, right? It's not real. Do I look sick? I'm not sick. I'm imagining that the present situation is different for some reason. I am imagining that I'm sick. Now, if that were true, I would go to the doctor. Now, am I really going to the doctor? No, because I'm not actually sick. It's an unreal situation. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo ngayon. No? Unreal siya, hindi naman talaga ako, wala naman talaga akong sakit. Pero kung sakali man, so ini-imagine mo, kung sakali man na may sakit ka, nagkasakit ka, anong ginawa mo? Nagpunta ka sa doktor. Okay? I hope you're getting it. Ayan, another example. If I had more money, so here, the verb is in the past, simple past, yung had. Ano ba yung present tense ng had? Have. H-A-V-E. Diba? So, if I had, kung nagkaroon ako ng mas maraming pera, if I had more money, I would buy a boat. Bumili ako ng boat. Okay? Kung nagkaroon ako ng mas maraming pera. So, if nag-i-imagine ka lang, kasi hindi ito totoo. Hindi ito yung nangyayari ngayon, hindi ito yung ngayon. Okay? So, kung sakali man na nagkaroon ka, ano yung ginawa mo? Bumili ka ng boat. Okay? I hope you're getting it. Okay? Another example or more examples. If my mother allowed me to go to the concert, I would be very happy. So, nag-i-imagine ka, hindi ito totoo ngayon. Nag-i-imagine ka lang, kung inalaw ka ng nanay mo, kung sakaling inalaw ka o pinayagan ka na pumunta sa concert, naging napakasaya mo. Okay? Kung sakali. Kung sakaling nag-aral ka na mabuti sa exam, if I studied hard for the exam, I could actually have a perfect score. O, hindi ka lang naman pwede gagamit ng would. Pwede ka rin gumamit ng could, no? Could have. Okay? So, again, ano yung gagamitin sa result clause? Gamit ng would, at saka, balik tayo. Okay, verb, infinitive. Would, could, might, and verb, infinitive. So, balik tayo sa example. Could, and then, base form kasi yung have. Verb infinitive siya. I could actually have a perfect score. If the rain did not stop, so again, simple past tense. Nagkaroon lang ng not, pero did pa rin ay past tense, stop pa rin ay past tense. Did not stop, the streets would be flooded. So again, would plus the base form din po yung be, no? Base form din siya. So kung hindi daw tumigil ang ulan, di bumahada daw. Hypothetical. Kung hindi tumigil ang ulan. Okay? So you are imagining if that is happening. Ano yung nangyari? Okay? It's in the past, it's unreal right now, but it might happen. There's a possibility. Okay. Second conditional, okay, can you do this? If I finished work earlier, I would, ano kaya? Ano kayang gagawin mo kung natapos mo yung trabaho mo ng mas maaga? I would watch K-drama, okay? I would play ML. So, I hope na ginawa nyo to or trinay nyo tong sentence na to. So, there are lots of different uses for the second conditional. We use it to give advice, to give reasons why we can't do something, and generally just imagine that life is different. So, I'm going to show you 3 sentences, okay, on those uses of second conditional. To give advice. If I were you, I would think twice. Kung ako sa'yo, kung ikaw ako, okay, ganon, nagdalawang isip ako. I would think twice. Okay, advice lang yon, no? So you can use the second conditional to give advice. Another one, to give reasons why we can't do something. Magbigay ng rason bakit di natin kayang gawin ang isang bagay. O hindi natin nagawa ang isang bagay. If I listened to you, I would know what to do. Okay? Kung nakinig ako sa iyo, nalaman ko kung ano ang gagawin. So, ano yung reason mo? Hindi ka kasi nakinig. Kaya hindi mo nalaman kung ano yung gagawin. Okay? So, if I listen to you, I would know what to do. Another one is to imagine that life was different, katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina. So, if I saved my money, I would not be broke. Kung nagtipid ako ng pera, hindi ako ngayon walang pera o broke. Sabihin ng broke kasi is wala kang pera. Okay? So, ayun yon, walang laman yung bulsa mo. So, hypothetical, okay? So, hindi siya real right now, hindi siya totoo ngayon. Okay? So, ano lang siya, wishful thinking siya. Okay? So, that's second conditional. Okay. So, move on tayo sa third conditional. So, for the third conditional, it is the past unreal conditional. Medyo komplikado to ha. It is impossible to happen. Kung kanina, yung zero conditional, it really happens because it's a fact. Yung first conditional, may possibility mangyari in the future. Yung second conditional, may possibility pa rin mangyari, although hindi yun yung nangyayari ngayon. Okay? Itong third conditional, hindi siya totoo, hindi siya nangyayari ngayon, at imposible din siyang mangyari. Okay? Later on, you would know why. So, third conditional. If I had been sick, I would have gone to the doctor. Kung ako lang ay nagkasakit, pumunta sana ako sa doktor. Yun yung translation na sa Tagalog. So, look at the changes in the verbs. In the if clause, you use the past perfect tense. So, paano ba ang past perfect tense? You use the word had, and then you have to use be, and then use the past participle of the verb. Pero dito kasi walang action verb, so yung be naging been. Okay na yon. If I had been sick. Noon naman sa result clause, gamit ka ng would, and then have. Pwede ka rin gamit ng could. Okay, would, could, and then the word have, and then the past participle of the verb pa rin. So, parehong gumagamit ng past participle. Okay? Pero dun sa if clause, had yung ginagamit. Dun sa result clause naman, would have. Okay. Next. So, we use this structure to imagine a different past. Nag-i-imagine tayo ng nakaraan, pero yung hindi nangyari nung nakaraan. Okay? Different to the one that actually happened. taliwas dun sa talagang nangyari nung nakaraan. Right? So if we use if with the past perfect and would have with the past participle, okay? Just to be clear, the if clause did not actually happen, but I'm imagining the result if the past was different. So in this situation, was I really sick? I'm not talking about what actually happened. I'm talking about what could have happened in the past but did not happen, and what would I have done if that had happened. English lang to, pero ang sinasabi lang dito sa third conditional, sinasabi mo yung kung ano sana yung nangyari nung nakaraan, pero hindi yun yung talagang nangyari. At kung nangyari man yun, ano sana yung ginawa mo. Alright? Can you think of a time when this grammar structure would actually be useful? If I had looked at the weather report, we would have stayed home. So, ano yung na-feel yung mood or ano yung na-feel yung feeling dito sa sentence na to? Kung nanood lang sana ako o nakinig lang sana ako ng report, ng weather report, nagstay na lang sana kami sa bahay. So, ano yung feeling na meron doon? If you say regret or panghihinayang, you are correct. Okay? When you regret something in the past, you use this conditional. Something happened in the past and you wish that that result was different. Okay? If I had known you were visiting, I would have made time to see you. Kung nalaman ko lang na bibisita ka, binigyan ko sana ng oras ang pagbisita mo. Okay? Nabigyan sana kita ng oras. So, may panghihinayang, may regret, may pagsisisi. Okay? Kasi hindi yun yung nangyari. Yung kabaliktaran yung nangyari. Okay? So, you were imagining something that happened in the past, that could have happened in the past. Sana yun yung nangyari. Para kung yun man yung nangyari, ano sana yung gagawin mo? Okay? So, that's the third conditional. More examples. If I had slept earlier last night, I would have arrived earlier in the class. Okay, if I had only slept. So, gumamit ako dun sa if clause ng had, tsaka past participle slept. Kasi, ang present tense ng slept ay sleep, ang past tense niya ay slept, then ang past participle niya ay slept, then. Okay, if I had only slept later last night, okay, tama yung ginamit kong verb. Kung ako lang sana daw earlier pala. Kung ako lang sana daw ay natulog ng mas maaga kagabi, I would have arrived earlier in class. Imagine niyo na lang na hindi pandemic. E di sana, hindi ako na late sa klase na dumating sana ako ng mas maaga sa klase. Okay, may pagsisisi, may panghihinayang. Kasi ano yung talagang nangyari? Ang nangyari talaga is, hindi ka natulog ng maaga. So, ina-imagine mo yung kabaliktaran ng totoong nangyari. At ano kaya ang mangyayari kung yun yung nangyari? Kung yung kabaliktaran na natulog ka ng mas maaga. Okay? If I had only read the recipe, my lasagna would have tasted better. Okay? So, doon muna tayo sa if clause. Gumamit tayo ng had, tapos gumamit tayo ng read, which is the past participle of read. Okay? If I had only read the recipe, kung binasa ko lamang yung recipe, my lasagna would have tasted better. Would, have, and then past participle ng taste ay tasted. So, mas naging masarap sana yung lasagna ko kung binasa ko lang sana yung recipe. So, may panghihinayang kasi ano ba yung totoong nangyari? Hindi mo binasa yung recipe. So, ini-imagine mo ngayon kung sakaling binasa ko sana yung kabaligtaran ng totoong nangyari na hindi ko binasa, edi sana mas masarap yung lasagna ko ngayon. Okay? If I had stopped playing Mobile Legends, there would have been more time left to answer my module. Okay? So, if I had stopped playing Mobile Legends, there would have been more time. So, kung sakaling nag-stop lang ako sa Mobile Legends, may time sana ako ngayon na mag-answer ng module ko. Okay? So, that's the first part of the lesson. I would be uploading the second part later.